Good morning, everybody. And it's a beautiful one too. And even more so after yesterday, and I think the day before, but particularly yesterday, which was Wednesday the 22nd, I think, of January. So today is Thursday. So I'm mentioning these dates because by the time I edit this and put it up, it will no longer be Thursday the 23rd, if that's what it is, or maybe it's even the 24th, so it doesn't really matter. And here I am again on Ronan, and because he's progressed that bit further, and I believe turned a corner, which I'm going to come to in a minute, I've got things I want to say about, you know, this horse training and our foundation training in particular. Now, yesterday I had a really lovely ride on Ronan, and that was why I believe we've turned a corner. Now, I won't get that ride every time because or 9 times out of 10, because he's not established and far from it. But the thing is, once they do something, you know, get it really right, and they see what it is that the rider's after, in a sense, you can't, that's there then, that's a reality, and it's just a question of coming back to that by degrees, so that it becomes part of their established responses. So yes, now the day before that, so where are we then? Well, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, no, Monday and Tuesday I had, he gave me a really hard time, and we had some battles, and I think I'll talk about that now, so I don't lose the thread of what I want to say. Now, the thing is, with this, you know, work and educating the horses, is you can arrive at plateaus. So you achieve a certain amount, and then, you know, you can either stay at that level and accept that, or you can move it forward. And so when we first got Ronan, you know, a few months previously, he was at that sort of plateau. You know, he's 9 years old, he's coming into his prime, but he thought he had life all figured out. Oh, here's somebody with a dog, so might stop talking for a moment and they get a little closer. So yes, he thought he had life all figured out, and he liked to operate within his comfort zones, which were, and still are, fairly narrow. Morning! Beautiful morning. So, yes, he thought he had life all figured out, and that's how life was, and that he did certain things and didn't do other things, and that was it. So then he came here, and like his world was turned upside down, because he had all this solo hacking, and he was made to do things that nobody had ever made him do before, and he found it all a bit scary to do these things. And you know, horses are totally natural followers, and, you know, Ronan's no exception, and he'd follow another horse, you know, over a cliff, you know, or down into a ravine. But on his own, if you ask him to go past something that he deems to be threatening, well, it could be a tree stump, you know, it doesn't have to be threatening. Well, it's a different matter. So his world was definitely rocked with all this, and not only that, because of the way he'd been normally ridden, he totally lacked motivation, So, what, you know, his first lessons were getting him motivated, which I'm going to come back to in a minute. And so we made progress, really very good progress, because he is a lovely horse, and he will be lovely, and he is lovely, but you know, he's in school, and so what am I wanting to say next? So yes, so then we'd sort of reached a plateau. I mean, he still needs to do lots in the village, and we've only progressed marginally outside it, and which is where we saw this other Ronan. Because we've been going around the village, and he got used to going around this village, and this applies to a lot of horses. And although he isn't super reliable, in that sense, you know, he knew the drill. So I thought, well, what we're going to do is we're going to take him, expand the village a little bit, and take him down another route, sort of in the village, but a different route. And he thought that was terrible. He thought, where are you taking me? I've never been down here before, don't like the look of it. And he put up a bit of a battle, to be honest. He really did. And I hadn't really seen that side of him, but oh, they're putting electricity in. This will be interesting. Go on then, Ronan. So there's all these parked vehicles. Oh, good boy. He's getting so much better. That was part of the battle. So, right, trotting on. I'll talk as we trot. So we had this. He said no, and I could have stood there for 15 minutes, letting him decide that actually he could go on. But the thing is, it all has to be weighed up, you know, according to their age and experience, because although he in a lot of ways rides like a young horse, he isn't a young horse. He's 9 years old. Now, if I was on a baby, you know, just starting out in life, I may or may not have done that route, but had I decided to do that route and I ran into difficulties, it's acceptable for a baby horse to, you know, really look at the situation and assess it, and then, you know, realise with a bit of coercion that it's okay. But Ronan does know what I mean. I've been riding him now for several months. He's got much more idea of what he needs to do, and he just flatly refused to do it. So it's not good enough for him to just say, no, I don't want to go. And it's almost like it was a test, you know, leadership, which we often talk about in natural horsemanship circles. Well, what is leadership? Well, leadership means that the horse is happy to go where you want him to go within reason, because you've asked him to do so, and that you've proved, and this is the pivotal thing, you've proved to the horse that you're the best leader for the job. Come on, come on. And horses will test you. It might not be in week 1, it might not be in month 1, but they test you. And nearly every horse you work with, when you're working away from the school, like we do, excuse me, good boy, they test that leadership sooner or later, and it's like a contest, and you can say, well, it's a battle of wills, but it's not even that. I mean, yes, it's a battle of wills in the sense that they don't want to do something and you want them to do it. So, I mean, Ronan has given in now. Good boy, he just goes past these cars. It's taken a few months for him to agree to go past cars. Come on. And horses continue to test your leadership, so it's not like you're the victor in that contest and that's it. You may not have such a big contest again, but you'll have tests on a day-by-day basis. Now, the more established the horse, the less often the tests, and less severe the severity of the test that you'll have to be the victor in. So I'm well used to these tests because they almost invariably they come about, and if you don't come out the other side on top, then in the horse's mind you are not the best leader for the job. You've just proven to the horse that you are not the best leader for the job because you haven't been able to herd that horse, lead from behind, drive that horse forward. You haven't been able to do it, so therefore how can you possibly be the best leader? I mean, it is that simple. So I had to use quite a lot of power to get him by, and it was we sort of got stuck in the middle of the main road, and all the traffic was banked up, but there we go. But anyway, he won't give me that in that particular place, and he may not give me such a challenge for the future, but we'll see. So we need to remember that in riding these horses, and of course this is what we do, is sort of overcome these challenges, but even, for people with just one horse, their own horse, they're going to meet these difficulties, and it's how you approach it determines, what your relationship's going to, how strong your relationship, etc., etc.